Hi everyone, this is Win. On this channel, I tell you the stories of unique places from all over the world. And today we're going to be discussing this place, the Turkish Steps in southern Sicily. It is absolutely gorgeous, a true natural wonder. And if you are in Sicily, you must go here. And yes, spoiler alert, the story involves some Turkish people, but not quite as many as you'd think actually. Okay, so the Turkish Steps, or the Scala dei Turchi, I have the worst Italian accent, so that's the last time you'll be hearing that from me, are located in, as I mentioned, southern Sicily, and more specifically near the cities of Realmonte and Agrigento, the latter of which is famous as the home to these sprawling ruins that were once an ancient Greek city. Valley of the Temples, I believe. Turkish steps are bright white, as you can see, and cascade into the Mediterranean. The steps are a limestone formation and are comprised of marl, which is like a chalky clay substance. Over millions of years, the sea and the wind have eroded the cliffs, giving them this very distinctive appearance. And set against the turquoise Mediterranean, it is quite a sight. The steps wrap around a bend and offer endless places to take a seat and take in the view. And they are located between these two beautiful white sandy beaches. Just unbelievable. Okay, so for some context and a little history that ties into the steps, Italy didn't unite as one country until the mid-1800s. Sicily was essentially someone's colony for ages. Over the millennia, they had Greek, Roman, Byzantine, Saracen, Spanish, Norman, and Vandal rulers, amongst many others. Sicily fell from Byzantine to Arab control for about 200 years, from the 800s to the 1000s. And during that time, they renamed Agrigento to Carcant. The Muslim community survived the Norman conquest in the 1060s, and the multicultural mix in the island gave birth to much of Sicily's unique multiculturalism. In 1224, however, Sicily, under the quasi-Norman German rule of the Hohenstaufens, that's a mouthful, they kicked out all the Muslims. In the next few decades, Sicily fell under Spanish rule, basically until Italian unification in 1861. All over the island, you can see beautiful examples of Arabic and Ottoman architecture, and it's oftentimes blended with various other styles. The Turkish Steps are named as much because of the Saracen and later Barbary Pirates. Basically, those names refer to Muslim pirates who were well known for constantly invading this area for centuries from the Middle Ages to the early 1800s. The Saracens and the Barbary Pirates were generally Islamic and from the Ottoman Empire, so the locals called them Turkish. These pirates found shelter here and used the steps as a means to climb up from their boats to the closest population center in Realmonte. So this was effectively a makeshift port. And in Realmonte, these pirates did not get up to any good. They were well known for capturing people and selling them into slavery. They focused their efforts in the Mediterranean, but went as far north as Iceland and the British Isles. Estimates have it that over the centuries, these pirates abducted over 1 million people and sold them into slavery, doing all of this from the sea. I feel like Hollywood has just done a phenomenal job of humanizing pirates. I mean, like, talk about propaganda. Anyways, since 2007, the steps are a candidate to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fingers crossed on that front, guys. As of the time of this recording, they are still waiting. So, you know, we'll all be waiting with bated breath. This site has also been popularized by the Italian detective series Inspector Montalbano, a crime tale set in an imaginary town in Sicily during World War II. First, it was a popular book series, and then a hit TV show on Rai, which is like the Italian BBC, basically. Several scenes were also filmed at the Turkish Steps, so very exciting. In 2020, the Italian federal government actually took over the steps due to rampant environmental degradation. Effectively, all the tourists meandering all over the steps caused erosion. These same tourists vandalized the site. In 2020, a group of morons, I said it, dyed the steps red. They used what turned out to be a pretty easy substance to remove, but still, I mean, this is like the height of stupidity. Also in 2020, there was some guy named Fernando Ciabarra claiming he owned the steps. A lot of things were a bit amiss in 2020, if you remember. So if you don't know, Italians are the definition of extra, and Sicilians are extra with a cherry on top. This Ferdinando cited documents from the 19th century saying he owned the Turkish Steps. needless to say, Ferdinando is currently being investigated for occupying state-owned property, along with other crimes related to the preservation of the site. The Coast Guard and the Harbor Master's office is also in the process of taking down various illegally built structures that violate permits and building codes in the area. I mean, the whole thing, to be honest, is a bit confusing. This Ferdinando was fined, but when he paid the fine, he got his documentation back and is now saying he's willing to sell the steps to the government. I'm gonna chalk this up to Italians just being Italians. The Italians have been working through a plan to preserve the steps. All ideas right now are on the table, including a quota system. Our friend Ferdinando is actually hoping that Elon Musk will buy and take care of the steps which, if you remember, are not for sale according to the Italian government some of the time. Elon Musk is yet to respond, so, again, fingers crossed. These poor Italians, they already have like 1,000,001 ancient ruins to take care of, and now they need to deal with this natural wonder. So if you visit, please know the rock is very delicate, so please be careful. Don't take any pieces with you. As a former tourist myself, I would like to take this moment to pompously say that I went barefoot to minimize my footprint, pun intended, and didn't vandalize one tiny little rock. Good for me. When I was here, I was amazed at how I could walk on more or less 45-degree angles and my feet could still grip the rock. The steps are super accessible from the main coastal road, and there are bars and restaurants all around the steps to enjoy a spritz for the view. One of my favorite things about Italians is how they relax at the beach. They drape themselves over rocks and speedos and fit into the tiniest slivers of sand, and this behavior is on full display at the Turkish Steps. They are perfect no-notes. The steps sometimes close for conservation purposes. I would check in with hotels in the area if you're really intent on walking the White Steps. Even if you can't walk there, you can get very close. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments on this video. Also, please subscribe for more, and until next time, goodbye.